Hello, welcome again to FAIRtax Power Radio. I'm Bob Paxton.
And I'm Ron Valero.
And we are the FAIRtax Guys, dedicated as always to putting the Internal Revenue Service on the scrap heap of history where it belongs, because it's a criminal enterprise that has no business messing up everybody's lives.
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to take care of business.
What have we here?
It's a face mask.
You think there's coronavirus in here?
No, I'm not worried about coronavirus. Where we live, there's very little incident. I'm worried about the real threat, the Irs virus.
That's not for coronavirus.
No,
that's for what?
Well, look at my.
I know what it's. Okay, there's a FAIRtax virus.
No,
I didn't think so.
FAIRtax is the cure.
Yes,
for the Irs virus.
Irs Virus?
The Irs virus. It permeates all of American society.
Wait a minute. Iris as in IRS.
You got it. The Irs virus. It's very serious.
Well, let me explain something to you. This is FAIRtax Power Radio.
Yeah.
We are against the Irs virus. We are trying to put the Iris out of business. Well, so I don't think you're going to catch it in here, and I can't understand what you're saying with that thing on.
Well, but it's all over. I mean, it's even filtering down from the federal to the state level, and I can prove it.
Well, can you get rid of that thing so folks can understand you and what you're saying?
But the Irs virus.
The Irs virus is not in here.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. I'll take it off, but I still have proof.
Okay. I don't doubt your proof. Okay. I just can't understand you when you got that thing on your face. Okay.
Yeah, it has filtered down to the state level, because I've got this headline here from Daily Caller. There
it is, right in big old letters, right?
Yep. There. Governor Cuomo says medical workers who voluntarily traveled to New York must pay state income tax.
Wait a minute. The volunteers, the nurses, and the doctors, and all the health workers that came from other states because he was desperately calling for their assistance.
Yeah. As
soon as they're here, they go, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to hit you in the pocketbook."
Yeah.
What a swell guy.
That's what happens when you have an income tax. You know, things go wild, and you start applying the income tax to everything.
Well, you need to put the Irs virus mask on him.
Yeah, well, I would like to. I mean, this is one of the reasons that I escaped from New York. My wife and I escaped from New York almost 25 years ago for nonsense like this, because, for one thing, while these volunteers were there in New York working to save lives and buying lunch and stuff like that, they were paying the state sales tax, because New York has a sales tax on top of their state income tax.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, and he wants to charge them income tax on whatever they earned while they were physically in New York State.
Okay.
It's the Irs virus. All right,
although I don't know if they call it the IRS in New York, but it's something similar.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. The Irs virus is everywhere. This is from Morning Tax from Politico. Speaking of technical details, Mnuchin probably could have backed the IRS, who said that they made the right call in disallowing tax deductions for wages and other expenses picked up by the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program. So small businesses got these loans, and they want to deduct. They always deduct expenses like wages and benefits and things like that. And they're saying, well, no. If you got money from this PPP program to pay your wages and benefits, you can't deduct it as expense. Well, how do they know what they use? It's crazy. And it goes on down here. Leading trio of Congress writers, this is a different issue, banded together to challenge the administration's implementation of another tax break aimed at boosting payrolls. Here's the issue. The IRS said that it won't count health benefits as wages when administering the incentive, and it goes on and so forth. That's a spin-off of the current problems. And every time they try to fix something using the current tax code, this is what happens. It's the Irs virus. It's affecting their brains, I'm sure.
Why do we allow the IRS and the income tax to continue to exist?
That is the question of this whole program, Bob. I wish I could answer.
I'm trying to set you up for something here. There, the reason we're pushing for the fair tax so hard is because it gets rid of all that crap.
Yeah.
It jerks the entire 70-some thousand pages of tax code just right off the books, repeals the statutory authority to collect an income tax. Now, technically, they could pass it back if they wanted to, but I think that'd be really hard once you repealed it all and replaced it with a fair tax, your nice, simple, fair, easy consumption tax that you pay at the cash register when you buy things, no tax returns, no withholding. I want to try to say this on just about every program because I want people who have never watched this before to understand what we're talking about, replacing the income tax. Now, you got to think way outside the box to get that kind of thought in your head, because it's we've had the income tax since 1913, like 107 years. Nobody working today has ever known any other system.
That's right.
So it's just ingrained in your head that that's the way it's got to be, but it does not have to be that way. We can get rid of the income tax, we can get rid of the Internal Revenue Service, and we can fund the government at the same level it's being funded now, and we'll still have to have the same debates over how to spend it.
That's right.
The fair tax doesn't get into how to spend it. It just gets into how to raise it.
Yep.
But that's what we're trying to do. We're going to get rid of the Irs Virus because we're going to get rid of the IRS that causes it.
And the fair tax is the only way to get rid of the Irs Virus.
That it does. Now, I'll give you a choice. Do you want to do your grassroots corner next, or do we want to dig into Congress.gov?
Let's do Congress.gov.
Yeah. There's some cool stuff in here. Now, the House has not been in session for
introduce it.
Past little while since we're doing this. So, we go to Congress.gov. You use the search function up at the top, look for the code, Internal Revenue Code. You put that phrase in quotes. And as of right now, when we're recording this on the 8th of May, you get 1,574 hits on that search. And that is the Congress critters messing with the tax code. Fortunately, not all of this becomes law, but it's kind of amusing to see what they're up to. We have another...
amusing and disturbing.
Yeah, we have another distilled spirits hand sanitizer.
Oh, good.
Bill here. A while back, we said that they were going to get a tax break for doing that. Now, S3618. This is Rand Paul's bill. Actually, it was introduced a couple of days ago. A bill to amend the Internal Revenue Code to exempt distilled spirits plants from denaturing requirements with respect to hand sanitizer produced to help combat COVID-19.
Now, as the old chemistry teacher will tell you, denaturing...
Explain that to me.
Yeah, ethyl alcohol is consumable. I mean, anybody who has an adult beverage, it contains ethyl alcohol. It's consumable, all right? You don't want to have too much because you get stupid. However, to sell ethyl alcohol for commercial purposes, for non-consumable, they put something in it that makes it poisonous. Essentially, that's what it is. Usually methyl alcohol, wood alcohol. And they call that denatured. So that's where the denatured
So
thing
now they're
is.
saying that plants don't have to do that if they're going to be doing it for a hand sanitizer, because you probably are not going to be consuming your hand sanitizer.
No, I haven't heard of that one anyways.
I hope not.
Hopefully they don't have it on the 6 o'clock news, because somebody will try it.
Okay, so more Congress critter messing around with the tax code. S3612, a bill to clarify for purposes of the Internal Revenue Code that the receipt of coronavirus assistance does not affect the tax treatment of ordinary business expenses.
Oh.
That's John Cornyn of Texas.
Oh, okay.
So we don't have any text on that.
Again, they're trying to address the current pandemic using the tax code, which is grossly overinflated, broken, and not able to be understood, extremely complex, expensive, inefficient, and every other negative adjective you can think of. And they're trying to use that tax code to address the current problem. Now, what's wrong with this picture?
This is the one that really caught my attention. This is actually a House bill, H.R. 6690. It was introduced about a week ago from Representative Chip Roy in Texas, to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to provide incentives for relocating manufacturing of pharmaceuticals and medical supplies and devices back to the United States. So I wanted to see the text of that bill, but it's not been posted yet, so I can't really tell what he's up to. But obviously, since he's wanting to mess with the Internal Revenue Code to provide incentives, looks like the folks that will bring their pharmaceutical and medical supply manufacturing back to the United States will get a tax break of some kind.
Again, we ask the question, why are U.S. companies building plants in China, communist China, to manufacture pharmaceuticals? Why aren't they building those plants here? And the answer
is it's cheaper over there.
Yeah, it's cheaper and easier.
And it's a lot less complicated to do business over there. And you read, China attracts these businesses with tax breaks.
Oh, what a concept.
So here's a concept for you. Get rid of the corporate income tax entirely.
Yeah.
Cut it down to zero. So that if you come here and build your pharmaceuticals and you build your supplies and your devices and what have you, you don't have to deal with the income tax code at all because there is no income tax code. Now, that would be an incentive to bring your manufacturing plant back to the United States. Oh, and guess what? That's exactly what the FAIRtax does.
Yeah, oh, geez, funny thing about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
We've been talking about that for a month now.
Well, I'm going to revisit this one on our next recording session here in a couple of weeks and see if they've got the text of this one up there and see exactly kind of what he's proposing. But if you want to provide tax incentives to bring not just pharmaceutical and medical manufacturing back, all manufacturing, your cell phones, your shirts, I mean, everything you buy that we get from China these days. I just realized that my vitamin E supplement that I take comes from China.
Oh.
I mean, that's insane. I didn't realize that until a couple of days ago. But if you want to bring all of that stuff back from China, the only way you're going to do it, you can sit there and pound the table about how it's your patriotic duty to produce in the United States, but it's not going to happen unless you just make it economically viable for them to do it. You make working business in the United States the most economically viable choice there is, and it just naturally happens.
Yeah.
You don't have to mandate it. It just happens.
Yeah, the Congress critters who criticize companies for setting up a plant overseas are being duplicitous. They've created a tax code and other regulations that chase our companies away. Then when that happens, they criticize the companies. The companies are trying to exist. Okay, that's all they're trying to do. Exist, make a profit, hire a bunch of people. Okay, and our Congress critters are making it difficult for them to do that in this country, so they go to other countries. It's very simple, but apparently it's a little too simple for Congress.
I mean, they're doing everything except what the actual best solution would be. Get rid of the income tax entirely. Not only do you not have to pay the tax liability, you no longer need an army of Philadelphia lawyers to keep your can out of jail by, make sure you don't run afoul of some strange little provision down in section 6432 of the tax code.
Yeah, exactly.
So, one more thing before we leave Congress.gov. This is kind of a shifting gears here, a little different subject, but it was interesting that they have now got a bill, Senate Bill 3594, a bill to amend the Internal Revenue Code to eliminate the credit for qualified plug-in electric drive motor vehicles for certain taxpayers. Remember when they were trying to get people to buy those electric vehicles or hybrid type vehicles? Oh, we'll give you a tax break to do that. Well, now they're going to try to take that tax break away.
We changed our minds. Sorry.
Isn't that wonderful, the stability that's built into the tax code?
Yeah. And that's annoying for the people that have electric cars, but the lack of stability is a serious problem for businesses, especially small businesses. They really don't like instability because they can't plan. They can't plan for next month or next year or 5 years when they don't know what the tax code is going to look like. So it's a big problem.
Yeah, so you get a tax break for getting a plug-in electric vehicle. Now, you don't get a tax break for getting, that may or may not become law. You never know. But that just shows you the Congress critters have no stability in mind. They will put whatever kind of proposal into the tax code that the lobbyist of the day wants them to do.
Yeah, and there is a little cash behind that, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Okay, well, I'll say we'll get back to Congress.gov here in a couple of weeks on FAIRtax Power Radio, but there was just too much good stuff in there today to let go. And now time's getting away from us. You got to do our. We're all out of kilter here. We usually do this first, the Grassroots Corner report.
Okay, I'll make this fast. The Grassroots Corner is written by Jim Bennett, who is on the board of directors for the Americans for Fair Taxation. Jim.Bennett@fairtax.org. Bennett has 2 N's and 2 T's. And in previous reports on January 31st and February 21st, he did some excerpts out of the book Made to Stick: Why Some Ideas Take Hold and Others Come Unstuck, written by the Heath Brothers, Arrow Books, 2007. And they talked about the acronym SUCCESS, and they have identified a letter, like the first letter in success is S. So the first concept was simplicity. The second concept was unexpected. Okay, you do something unexpected. Third one that he's doing today is concrete. And without going through this whole thing, he's talking about when you're explaining something like the fair tax, which taxes are kind of they're not really concrete. They're kind of this nebulous idea out there. We always have to, write and do our tax returns, but it's not like picking up a pen, or a mug. Okay, so do something concrete. So he's talking about you're presenting the fair tax for people, use something concrete. And I love 2 of the examples he used. All right, he used a mirror, just a facial mirror. And when you explain who actually pays corporate taxes, he holds the mirror up in front of himself. Yep, it's me, and it's everybody else in this room, and it's everybody in the United States. We pay corporate taxes, all right? And then the other one is a little model truck of like a U-Haul truck, and that is a concrete example of when you put onerous taxes and compliance costs on companies, that's what they do. They get in their truck and go away. So those are concrete examples. If you go to fairtax.org, sign up at fairtax.org, you will get these updates. You'll get Jim Bennett's Grassroots update, you'll get Steve Hayes' chairman's report, and you'll get a weekly update from FAIRtax Power Radio letting you know what was happening on FAIRtax Power Radio this week and where you can find it. So fairtax.org, that's the website of the AFFT. You will not get spam when you sign up with on fairtax.org. So,
all right,
that's our Grassroots report.
Okay, shifting gears here again. We've been talking about on FAIRtax Power Radio, we've been encouraging people to go to fairtax.org and download a hard copy, if you can, of the Candidates Pledge, which simply says that we ask the candidates for, especially Congress and the Senate, that says I will co-sponsor the fair tax and I will vote for it. And we got a fairly impressive list of candidate pledges so far. We've already mentioned, I believe, Alan Waters, who's running for Senate in Rhode Island, Dr. Rich McCormick, Georgia District 7, Rick Phillips, Iowa District 2, also Stephen Everly, Iowa District 2, Stanley Adair running for a Senate in Alabama, and we got a couple. There's Iowa District 3, William Schaefer, and of course Gavin Rollins. We talked to him on video here on FAIRtax Power Radio. You got to see him sign his. That's a Florida District 3, but we've got some new ones.
Yep.
Proceed.
Steve King. Steve King is a longtime co-sponsor of H.R. 25, and he is the incumbent in Iowa District 4, and he is running re-election. So we have an incumbent who has signed the Fair Tax Pledge, and I'm not surprised. There are videos of Steve King talking about the fair tax out there. He's a true proponent. Right.
I think this is the first time he's actually put his signature on the pledge, even though he's done everything that the pledge calls for already.
Yeah, and that could be because of our man in Iowa, Claude Mercenich.
Yeah, we'll talk about him probably in the next program or two.
Yeah.
We're running really close on time for this one.
Okay, we got Vance Dean, who is he is a candidate for House in Georgia District 8. He has signed the pledge. John Rutherford, he is an incumbent also here in Florida, Florida District 4, and he co-sponsored the fair tax this congressional session. Joseph Mulatto from Florida 3. Okay, that's the district that I live in. He's one of the many people running in District 3 because Ted Yoho is retiring from Congress, and we have, I don't know, I think it's like a dozen people running for his position. It's going to be interesting. And finally, Phil Arlinghouse, Tennessee District 1, he has also signed the pledge. So all these people have signed the FAIRtax Pledge. And thank you. And thank you to the volunteers who keep after these people, all right? We would like to get more, and we encourage you, contact the candidates in your area. Some people are contacting all the candidates throughout their whole state.
Yeah.
But anyways,
that's another story we'll get into here probably on another program.
Yep.
But and there's at least one more in the Florida District 3 that we're working on. We expect her to sign it. She hadn't signed it yet, so we can't really announce it.
And part of that is because we can't go see each other.
They all got the Irs Virus. So
yeah. So anyways.
That's what it's all about. Okay, well, I say we're running kind of close on time here, but there are a couple of programming notes that I want to toss out here regarding FAIRtax Power Radio. You know, we're always open to comments and suggestions on how we could make the program better and be able to reach more people. One of the ideas that we got a while back, of course, we're not going to give up creative control and let other people dictate how we run the show. Right. But we got a suggestion a while back to have more interview people. We have done some interviews. We've talked to Steve Hayes, AFFT president, a couple of times. We've talked to Ted Yoho a couple of times. And
that was quite a while ago, too.
It's been a while, because we're generally not an interview program, but we're certainly open to doing that. And we're going to try to do a few more interviews here. We're not going to do fillers. We're going to make sure that anybody we talk to brings some quality content to the show. But we're working on one.
Yep.
You want to tell a little bit about, we don't have him nailed down yet, but I think this will be a really good guy to talk to.
There's actually, the fellow that actually got us going with the video portion of FAIRtax Power Radio, Tony McKnight, who's a businessman. Tony and Sherry are business people from Gainesville, Florida. They run a number of businesses, and they invited us what we thought was going to be on terrestrial radio, but when we got up there for the meeting, they're talking about TV. And Bob and I are looking at each other like, TV? Really?
He initially said, I bought some radio stations. I want to see if we can do this. And so I got up there and it wasn't radio stations.
Anyways, Tony and his wife, Sherry, run a number of businesses. They are longtime FAIRtax fans and so forth. And we're going to try to set something up with Tony. He has already given the approval. We just have to set a time.
I want to get into the head of a businessman and see how much hassle this Irs Virus causes him. And how much better his life would be and how more successful his businesses could be, and they're pretty successful as it is, if he didn't have to deal with the IRS and he had the FAIRtax to work with as well. And second programming note, we have just now nailed it down. Special announcement for those of you in Winston-Salem. We will be coming up to WTOB to do a live FAIRtax Power Radio show. It will be on Sunday, July the 5th. We're going to take phone calls. We're going to talk to everybody, and hopefully we can get some good interaction. But we'll have to cut Scarborough or Provo that he can run to remind the people. Winston. Of course, if you don't live in Winston-Salem and you can't get that signal over the air, you can still listen to them online. They stream over the internet as well.
That's right.
But this will be the first live FAIRtax Power Radio show we've done in quite a while. And hopefully we can get some good phone calls. But if you're living in the area and you listen to us on WTOB on Sunday morning, plan to be with us, especially on July the 5th. We'd love to talk to you.
That's going to be exciting.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it is.
I'm looking forward to it. And we're also going to record it with the video camera.
Yeah, we'll record that with the video camera, and we'll show it as a regular FAIRtax Power Radio episode to the rest of you here.
It's just so we won't have this normal backdrop behind us.
We are looking forward to that. That just came together today. That we are indeed going to do that. The travel restrictions will allow us to do that, and folks there at WTOB said it was fine, so we're going to come do it.
Excellent.
Now, we've got about 4 minutes left. We've got our call to action to work on.
Okay. First off, join AFFT, the Americans for Fair Taxation. We encourage you to join the organization. If the spirit moves you, you can donate to them because it is a national group. They have a number of things as a national group that they have to do that cost them quite a bit of money, actually. All right. audits and database management and on and on. Randy could explain it better. So you can go to the 1040 Club, which is just fairtax.org/1040. And if you do that, you commit to donating $10.40 a month, okay? And remember that on their website, fairtax.org, under Get Involved, there's a call to action. Go there periodically, because what they're going to do, and this is a new feature, they're going to ask you to do something like send an email to somebody, or whatever. They're going to come up with some things that you can help, and we need everybody's help. We can't say that enough. We really need everybody's help to get this done. So. And there's also state organizations. So while you're on fairtax.org, take a look at the state organizations and see if there's somebody in your area that you can get involved with, okay? Volunteers is going to get it done. We are all volunteers. There are no paid positions in either the national or the state groups. All volunteers. And some people, like Randy and Adam Yomtoff, they put a lot of time into this, okay?
They do.
What else is on there?
Oh, share our videos.
Yeah.
Tell people about FAIRtaxGuys.com, where all of the archived versions of the old FAIRtax Power Radio episodes are there. You can binge watch to your heart's content if you're still locked down on quarantine.
Yeah.
And as Leonard Post-Hosties used to say, we could increase your IQ with a lot of smart pills if you'll go to FAIRtaxGuys.com.
And while you are stuck at home, try your hand at writing letters to the editor in favor of the FAIRtax. Okay?
Yeah, that'll work.
And, call your local and national talk shows, okay? I changed that to national since a few weeks ago, Randy got on the Rush Limbaugh show with, what was the guy's name?
Todd Herman.
Todd Herman, okay. And as it turns out, Todd Herman was filling in for Rush. As it turns out, Todd Herman is a FAIRtax fan.
Now, be prepared to stay on hold for quite a while if you call one of those big shows, and you can get through.
Give it a try, okay?
Give that a try.
And you can contact the president at whitehouse.gov/contact. All right, whitehouse.gov/contact. Just follow the little procedure there, and send him a note of encouragement, asking him to promote and put forth the FAIRtax. All right, put it forth to Congress, like maybe in his second term.
Yeah,
okay.
And on a related thing to the FAIRtaxGuys.com, just share these videos as they're streaming on Facebook. Just share them to your friends, and because I do that, and everybody comes up, oh, that's pretty cool. Yep. Sometimes I'll see my friends jump on and watch them as well.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
We need to get as many people, as many eyeballs as we can on these FAIRtax Power Radio shows. And of course, you can listen on Spreaker or iHeartRadio or any of the audio podcasts as well.
And we love to get comments from the viewers and the listeners. Sometimes they have some excellent ideas. Sometimes they have some questions that we can respond to. Yeah, don't hesitate. Oh, and our email address, thefairtaxguys@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, whatever, go ahead. We're thick-skinned. We can take it.
And you can leave us feedback on our Facebook page as well. And that's going to wrap up this edition of FAIRtax Power Radio. Again, thank you so much for watching and or listening. I'm Bob Paxton.
And I'm Ron Malero.
We're the FAIRtax Guys, reminding you that the FAIRtax is the only truly fair tax. And once you understand it,
you'll demand it. And watch out for that Irs Virus. How about the FAIRtax Logo Store? Here's one of the ways that you can help out. FAIRtaxLogoStore.org. FAIRtaxLogoStore.org, where you can buy shirts, hats, earrings. Okay?
I will not model your earrings.
No. Okay. Me neither. But the scrolling banners, which is our favorite item in the FAIRtax Logo Store. All right, these are very important. They're palm cards. You can carry these around, keep some in your car, in your purse, or whatever, and you can get a package of them. They've got good information on both sides. All right, and campaign buttons. We have campaign buttons. There are a lot of items in the FAIRtax Logo Store. FAIRtaxLogoStore.org. Many more than I have time to talk about here, but this is how you can visibly show your support for the FAIRtax. You go into that website and flip through the pages, find something and purchase it, and show off your support for the FAIRtax Logo Store. Thank you very much.